The first being you cannot manufacture something if you do not have the basic materials. 1. The universe exists. 2. Something must have caused the creation. Perhaps there is no such thing as total emptiness, and emptiness cannot exist. That the very emptiness of the void created the Big Bang, as the void has to contain something? My own theory and belief. The actual theory is that prior to the existence of atoms nothing exists but an empty void. But voids have to be filled, as they cannot contain complete nothingness. Something has to exist. This meant the very material of the void split asunder, the Big Bang, into matter and antimatter. Both products and their energies can be seen in the universe. Antimatter and dark energy are attracting interest within the science community. When matter meets antimatter, it creates a black hole's very dense voids of nothingness, the onset of the death of the universe that later leads to a rebirth. Atoms are unique building blocks that mix and intermix within the natural rules set by the limitations and nature of which we call space and the original Big Bang, the implosion and explosion at the birth of a new universe. The electrons and protons are the basics of life within the universe. Scientists have theorized evolution from proof found on this planet we occupy as carbon-based bipeds, but have yet to really understand why life exists. It's actual very simple, but is made complex by the way atoms behave within the universe. The constant mixing of atoms caused by the violent nature of the natural rules of the universe and a set of the correct conditions caused atoms to form into a simple life form, the single cell that made it possible for atoms to live off other atoms to then create even more complex carbon-based life forms. The new life forms created had the pattern set at the birth of the universe. The universe had to exist. These life forms had to exist and survive. It has been a natural program since day one. The new life forms had the ability to create more of their own kind and to adapt into more efficient species ever since it's been a race to the top of the ladder to create an ultimate species. We humans are the total product at this stage of time, the perfect host for our building blocks. We as intelligent beings are only important to the atoms that are forever seeking other useful atoms to blend with, to build and repair and help the carbon entity, the host, exist so it can forage for more atoms. Prior built hosts had been stationary and could only seek required atoms locally, and seeding new hosts to feed elsewhere, were geared to nature, wind, water, or roots, etc. Of course, these methods improved with the very mobile host of who became also a method of seeding. This of course answers the question why we are here. It's simply answered with to create new host for the universe's building blocks. Oh, your soul? That's imaginary, as with super beings and a heaven after death. However, your atoms will be around possibly for billions of years more. Yes, that's the afterlife. You are just a walking, moving coral with an intelligent brain. Chapter 5. Finally, we can only successfully lead our lives in a civilized way, without hurt others and by curbing our natural selfishness. Unfortunately, we have to bear the greed and selfishness of others that wish to behave uncivilized, or those that have been completely brainwashed. We are born with a will to survive that is embedded into our genes. We are alone a single-minded entity that can be shaped by our parents and taught how to live by our parents' standards. We learn to love and respect those that look after us. At school and universities we are influenced by our teachers, lecturers, and our country's government. Here we learn the patriotism, normally a form of propaganda set by our rulers. Before we are 16, we are all brainwashed into what others wish us to believe in. Without question we then become one of the flock.